What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video your girl is here to bring you another video in my multi-palette look series. So for today I'm going to be doing a 5-look series, or 5-look video if you will, where I am focusing on giving you guys looks for the Melt Cosmetics Amor Mariposa palette. This is the only product that I picked up from the collection. I did end up picking it up early before Black Friday when they did present a 25% off coupon. I was able to pick it up, afford it, all of that jazz, and I've just been taking the time to get to know this palette, do some looks for you guys, all of that jazz. I will give you guys some thoughts at the end. They're not my finalized thoughts. I really want to give this a little bit more time, but I will give more critical thoughts. That said, what I say at the end is truly how I feel. I just want to get to know it just a wee bit more. So yeah, anyways, this is look number 5. My blush really isn't as heavy as it presents, I promise. It's just the lighting, okay? I'm still trying to really figure out my nighttime lighting, and that's the situation. Okay. Anyways, if you're interested in seeing my 5 looks, let's get to it. Hey guys, so I am here to do look number 1. I am gonna try my absolute best to do as many looks as possible before I plan to get this video up, so do bear with me with the different types of lighting and all of that jazz. And this was supposed to be work appropriate. We'll see how my work approves or disapproves. I don't think they'll have a problem, but it'll be fun to see what happens. So first I'm gonna take my Smith 232 brush. I just primed my eyes with my MAC paint pot, and I am gonna go into Sentimentos, which is the kind of medium toned green in this palette. And this is going to pretty much be applied on my outer V, but also very nicely into my crease as well. I'm not going to pick up too much product. I really want this to blend itself out. I am going to be putting a transition color on the outer edge. I didn't do that first because I don't want that transition color to be the main focal point of this look. I definitely wanted this green to be the main focal point. So that's why I did what I did. And I'm just taking my time really blending this shade out. Okay, so pretty easy blending, doing good. Then I'm gonna take a Sigma 19, a Wayne Goss 19, and I'm gonna go into Mensaji, which is the like khaki yellow shade, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and use this to just lightly blend out that outer edge, and of course make this the true transition tone. I did that one because this is the actual shirt I'm gonna be wearing to work today, but also I just thought it would be kind of cool to add this color into this look, and yeah, this is the way I wanted to do it. And it also really nicely lightens out that outer edge. So let's say I actually did not blend the outer edge as well as I would maybe want. Putting that lighter shade on the outer edge really is going to help with that process. So I like it. Okay, then what I'm gonna take is a smaller blending brush. This is the M514 from Morphe, and I'm gonna go into the darkest green in this palette, which is Guamuchil, I believe. And I'm going to use this as my outer V and deepening shade. I am going to really focus on keeping this on this outer V area. I'm not really going to blend this too much up or over. It's really just going to stay on this outer V area. And its main purpose is really just to deepen up that green that is truly our main color. Okay. So you can see it's really deepened up a majority of that area. Really, really liking that so far. I'm actually, while I'm here, just gonna go ahead and finish up my lower lash line, or start it really. And I'm gonna take a flat brush. I think this is from e.l.f. It's an eyeliner brush, and I'm just gonna go into that same deep green. And this is gonna go all along my lower lash line. I, of course, always connect on the outer side of my eye to the upper lash line, but that is just a personal preference. Do what you prefer. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is take this brush, which is the Morphe brush, and I'm gonna go back into Sentimentals. Now, because this was the darker shade I think I just used, I am just gonna clean her off just a little bit. Okay. And then I'm gonna go into Sentimentals, and just to lightly blend this out a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna go back into that Morphe brush, I keep saying Morphe, into that Wayne Goss brush, and with this lightest yellowy shade, and that's gonna blend out everything and connect everything. It's not really going to show on my lower lash line unless you're like super close, but that's okay. I still want to do it just for the feel. Okay, so now all of my matte shades are pretty much down. There is one matte shade that I added at the very end, but that's just for personal aesthetic reasons. So what I'm going to do next is take a flat brush. This one happens to be the Eciem W21, and I'm going to take some NYX glitter glue. And I'm taking this NYX glitter glue because during my eye swatches, which I did earlier in the month of December in my Swagmas, I will have it up there for you guys, I noticed that the shade that I want to put on my lid is quite more of a flecky kind of shade than like a solid metallic, which is not bad, but you just got to know how to work with it to get what you want. So I'm just going to put this NYX glitter glue, which is really going to help that shadow to adhere to my eye and where I want it to. And then I'm going to go into the shade Tequila. I can say that. So I'm going to go into shade Tequila and just take my time and lay this shade down. As you can see, once you pick her up, you really don't have to keep going back into the pan. It's just the idea that you got to keep the flecks on your brush and on your eye, that's all. So it is super pigmented, and like, in case somebody was worried about that. Oh, great. But as you can see, if you get it in a spot that you don't want it, it can stay there. I'll work on that later. Okay, so that's that. I just want to blend out this a little bit more because it's a little stagnant and I don't particularly like that. So what I recommend is just going back and forth between the two brushes to get what you like. Okay, so I like how that's blended now. Alrighty, so inner corner highlight, I used the blue shimmer, the lighter of the two blues, which is Lindo. So I'm going to take that, and this is going to be my inner corner highlight. Okay, and I am just going to take this down here and blend her out just a little bit. I do, like I said, need to fix that little part of the gold that kind of seeped down to my lower lash line, But other than that, there is only one additional minor tweak that I want to make. I'm just going to take that same liner brush that I used to put the green on my lower lash line, and I am going to reach into a really nice, rich, dark brown. Just happens to be a palette close by, and I'm just going to take it and kind of create a faux liner. I'm doing this because I do not have a liquid liner. If I had a liquid liner, I would actually use that, but I ran out, and this will suffice. I still get the kind of liner-ish look that I want without having to buy an additional product right now. So that's pretty much the finished look. In my waterline, I just put my Patrick Star waterline in black, or liner in black, and then I just used my normal Essence mascara on my eyelashes. I'm just gonna finish up the rest of my look, and then I will be back to show you guys the finished look. Alrighty, so this is the finished look. I had a lot of fun playing with these eyeshadows. We'll see if this is work appropriate according to my boss and my coworkers, and I'll see you in just a second for look number 2. Alrighty guys, so bear with me. As you can see, we are filming at night, but I have my new lens, so I'm hoping that that is going to help make things a little bit easier. I'm working on getting my lighting a little bit more even. I just need one more light, well actually 2 on my right, and hopefully that will even out my lighting for when I do need to film at night. So yeah, anyways, look number 2 coming your way. I just primed with my MAC paint pot. I've been using my finger because the actual product is getting quite dry now, so I just need to kind of warm it up with my fingers, and let's get into it. So what we're gonna do is start off this look with Abuelita, which is the really pretty like pinky corally shade. I'm going to be using a Wayne Goss 16 brush, and I'm going to be applying that pretty liberally into my crease. Mainly transition area. I am going to put another shade fully in my crease, but you know, this is in my crease nonetheless. All right, so next I'm gonna take a smaller Wayne Goss. It is his 19, and I am gonna go into Abrazos, I think, I don't really know, and I'm just going to deepen up my crease with this shade, mainly my outer V, and then really focusing this into my crease. This is just so that I can slowly build this depth of this look. I didn't want to start off too dark, but I also just wanted to see what the difference between this and that lighter shade is. So yeah, let me just apply a little bit more. I think just for lack of light on this side, it's a little difficult to ensure that. Yeah, anyways, so can you guys see the 2 different colors? I'm really liking it so far, really blown out. Let's keep going. All right, now what I'm gonna do is take my Sigma Precision Firm Blender, which is the E42 brush, and I am gonna go into the shade called Churro over here, or not Churro because that's an A, not a U, so Chiro, and I am just going to really deepen out that outer V area. That is that the right shade? Yeah, it is. Almost freaked out there. Okay, cool. Then just apply it slowly inward so that when I place the shade onto my lid, it will blend together. Also on the outer V, I'm blending out so that it seamlessly kind of connects to my lower lash line when I get to that. And I'm tilting my head back so I have easier access to my crease to blend the shades together. I'm just gonna run all 3 shades with their respective brushes on my lower lash line. I am not gonna pick up any additional product. I find that whatever product is left tends to be perfectly enough for my lower lash line. Okay, and the only thing, you guys know me, just to make sure that that lower lash line and that upper outer V really blends together. That is my big hill that I will always die on when it comes to my eyeshadow looks. Okay, so overall this is my matte shades. Those are the matte shades. I'm not gonna add any more matte shades. Now what I'm gonna do is take the NYX glitter glue and a flat brush. Of course I am using my ECM W21 brush, and I am going to cut my lid and then I'll be right back. Quick and easy for me to go ahead and cut that lid. Now what I'm gonna do is kind of do my mistake again, which is to put the Mariposa shade on my lid. This is one of those shades that was a little bit difficult for me to pick up when I was doing my eye swatches, so I knew I should put NYX glitter glue down, and I find that even with that I really just don't like this shade. Now it may be because I am applying it with a brush, and it may just need the warmth of my finger to give the effect that I truly like, but so far not truly enjoying this shade, but we're gonna work with it. We are going to work with it. And I can feel that shade falling all over my face. All right, I was able to get that off. So now that I layered that orange so straight on my face, you can see it fits, but it's very bold. It's very stark, and I just did not like that when I did it. So what I decided to do is to clean off my ECM brush and then to go into the shade Sagrado, I believe. It is the warm pinky reddy kind of shimmer shade in this palette. This is a really pretty shade, and I feel as though even though I did not put any base on it or anything like that, it just really settles that orange beautifully, and it really just helps that whole kit and caboodle to come together. So, you know, it was a mistake, but I think it kind of got to where it needed to be. Then I just take my same brush, because I couldn't be bothered to get a new one, and I just did my inner corner with just specifically the Sag Rose shade. Okay, so I am just going to, no, I'm not gonna hop off camera, I'm gonna stay on camera really quickly because I want to finish doing this with you guys. So I'm just gonna go back and forth between the two brushes to get my satisfaction on this blend. All right, and then kind of effectively ruining that a little bit, I am gonna take a flat eyeliner brush and then go back into that Chiro shade and just create a little faux liner down here. It's It's quite interesting. When I had my liquid liner, I pretty much barely used it, and now that I've run out of it, it feels like all of my looks need it. Gotta love it. Okay, so that's pretty much the finished look. All I'm gonna do is apply on some mascara, my typical mascara. I didn't even put anything in my waterline, so let me do that and then I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, so this is the finished look. So yeah, this is the finished look for look number 2. I am really liking how this look came out overall. Different things that I put on my face today. I did put on my Wayne Goss Duo in Bright Poppy, just the blush, normal highlighter or Project Pan highlighter, however you want to look at it. The only other kind of non-normal thing is I actually put on a different lip product, and this is a melt liquid lipstick, and this is in Gwendolyn. I got this sent for free in my package, so I figured I'd try it, and it actually just worked perfectly with this look today. I really like this formula. I've wanted to get more, but I could not justify it. So really happy that I was able to try it today. Let me zoom out just a bit. Let's figure out how to do that on this new lens. There we go. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed look number 2. Let's get to the next one. Hey guys, so I'm here to bring you guys look number 3, and as you can see, I have just a casual basic look on this eye. Just kidding, it's really bold, really cool, but I'm really excited. Once again, I'm using my new lens, so let your girl know if you like it. If you don't, I'd love to hear the info from you all. And of course, my battery is about to die right when I start recording. I'm gonna prime my eyes, switch my battery, and then we'll get started. All right, so we are good to go now, and let's just get into it. So first what we're gonna do is go into Carino, which is the light green. I used this, I believe, in the first look using my fluffy Smith Cosmetics 232 brush, just to get this all in my transition area and slightly into my crease. Take your time with this, especially if you're doing it the way that I do, where I don't do a true transition color that is similar to my skin tone. So really take your time, blend out the edges, and always, if you need to, get an additional brush to help you do that. Okay, then I'm going to go into a skinnier blending brush. This is from Royal and Land Nickel. This is the BOM 46, and then I'm going to go into the shade Noob, which is right there. It's a really pretty purple warm tone. Gonna pick some product up, start really applying this to that outer V area, and then I'm going to blend this into my crease. This is a very pigmented purple, and I find that it's actually a really good purple. It's not, I don't have difficulty blending it at all, or like I said, getting pigmentation, and it just lays really nicely. So definitely enjoying these purples so far in this palette. And if you're having difficulty then blending out the outer edge of that purple, you can always just blend out the outer edge with that first brush. Okay, and then while I have it, I'm just going to take that same brush and go to my lower lash line. Okay, and then take the bigger one very lightly, did not pick up too much product, and I'm just gonna blend that out. Okay, super lightly, it worked out. Okay, on my lid, I then went into the shade I think I used yesterday, which is Sagrado right here. And that is going to be my full lid shade. And because this shade is flaky, I am gonna go ahead and spray my brush after I got the product on there. And just apply it really nicely there onto my lid. Okay, if you still get a wee bit of fallout, just flick off with your powder brush. As long as you powdered really well, it'll fall off pretty easily. Okay, in my inner corner, I use the exact same shade that I have on my lid. So I'm just gonna take a smaller pencil brush to put that there. Then I'm gonna do an eyeliner brush with that same purple, just to give kind of the faux liner look again. I'm really enjoying this technique lately, and it's giving me the effects that I want, which is always good. Alrighty, so in my waterline today, I used an LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner in the shade Gotcha, and I'm gonna use just my normal mascara. That's pretty much it. So let me do those, and then I'll be back. And I have to also figure out what I'm gonna put on my lips too, so I'll be back. Alrighty, and so this is the finished look. And yeah, like I said, this is the finished look for look number 3. I am really enjoying playing with this palette, getting to know each and every shade. I've definitely been using quite a few shades in the pinks and stuff. I do want to actively try and use these 2 shades and use a little bit more of the reds, so hopefully I can get even some more variety in the next couple of looks. And yeah, so let's get into look number 4. Oh, just kidding. Before we get into look number 4, in case you're wondering, my lip combination is the new Melt liquid lipstick and then my 2 Project Pan products. Okay, now for real, let's get into look number 4. Alrighty, so we're here to do look number 2. Super excited, and let's just get into it. So first, what I'm gonna do is take the shade Abuelita, and that is gonna go into the inner half of my crease. Now you'll notice that I'm not really leaving any extra room for this shade to be blended out. I will be using a small blender brush at the end after I've laid both of my 2 lid shades down, so I don't really find a huge reason to be mad about that, but super happy with that shade so far. I'm just going to take the same brush, which is a Morphe M535, clean it off, and then go into my next crease shade, which is going to be Perla, which is kind of the more true red in this palette. So I'm just going to take some product, put it on my brush, and this is going to be my outer crease shade. So I decided to do this because I really wanted to see if there was going to be a significant difference between all of these reds and like purpley reds and all of that on my complexion and on my eyes. And this just came out to be a very kind of romantic purpley look, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. So that's pretty much the crease done. Then what I did is I took another Morphe brush. This is the M562. It's a really small blending brush, and I'm just going along the edges just to blend out just the edge. And it just makes it look a little bit more kind of seamless with my skin. And yeah, that's good for me. I'm happy with that look. There is like a little bit of, I feel, blank space right there. So I'm just gonna kind of reapply the red right there. Okay, so I think that is good to go, more or less. Okay, next what I did is I took a smaller blending brush. This is a Sonia G Blender Pro. And I went into the shade Nueva Vida, which is kind of one of the darker, deeper, true reds in this palette. And I wanted to really see the difference once again between this red and the more true red on my complexion. So I put that on my outer V and then started to blend it into my crease and slightly over. So as you can see, there definitely is some depth built doing that, and I'm just going to take a little bit under my eye. But if you guys know me, I really like to see huge depth changes, and it just wasn't enough depth for me. So I then continued on with the shade Charo, which is kind of, is that the shade I went? Oh no. I think that's the shade I went into. No, just kidding. No, I didn't go into that shade. I went into Al Mahada. And I wanted to just deepen this out even more. Pretty sure that's the shade I went into. Oh dear Lord. No. Oh gosh. Okay, no, I went into Charo. Sorry. So I went into Charo and I just deepened this out even more. Yeah. And really trying to keep this shade lower, but still deepening out that outer V strictly, and then of course slightly blending into the crease. And as always, if you feel you need help blending out the deeper shade, then just go back with one of the other brushes that you used. I find that these are blending really well, even though I've now blended, what, 4 or 5 shades in my crease. It's still doing a really good job. And yeah, I am just going to blend these shades just a wee bit. All right. So next what I did is I took a flat brush, my W21 from Ecem, and I am going into the shimmered called Sagardo. So I'm gonna go into that shimmer. Once again, this is more of a flaky type finish, so I strongly recommend some NYX glitter glue or a finishing spray to kind of adhere those flecks together so that they actually make it to your lid. And I am just going to apply that directly onto my lid. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take a pencil brush. This is the BK Beauty 207, and I am actually going to go back and forth between Sargato and Tequila, and I just want to basically have a lighter version of that Sakaro shade just so that you can see a difference. And mainly that Tequila shade takes over with just like kind of the slight hint of the Sakaro shade. So that's the finished look. I didn't even put anything in my waterline. I found, and I still find, that that really deepener shade on my lower lash line really gives me that effect of a waterline shade. So I didn't feel the need to put anything on. I am just going to really quickly put on my mascara, which is from Essence. It is the False Lash, very quickly. And then, yeah, I'll be done to show you guys my finished look. Alrighty, so like I said, this is the finished look. And yeah, I had a lot of fun playing with this palette for look number 4. I think I'm only going to do one final look here for this video, and then I will do some more looks off camera just to test out this palette just a little bit more. But yeah, one more look and then we are done. So I will see you guys in just a second. Alright guys, so it's time to do look number 5. This is going to be the final look, and I'm really excited to show you guys how I created this look over here. So first what I did is took a really fluffy blending brush. This happens to be the Eddie Funkhauser, I think, large blending brush, and then I went into the shade Sonales, which I believe is the warmer of the two kind of brownie shades. I just kind of went off of looks very quickly in the pan. I didn't really swatch them, but either way, I just really applied this pretty liberally in my crease, making sure that it kind of blends that primer with my skin tone even better. And this shade will kind of blend away throughout time, but that's perfectly fine. There's no big deal. Then I took an Morphe M535 and I went into the shade Gumachil, I believe, which is the darkest green in this palette. And I'm going to start by putting this on my outer V. And then I am going to lightly blend this up and in the crease. Like I said, that first shade is pretty much going to disappear, and this green is going to be kind of the primary shade in this look, which is perfectly fine. Take the time to not only add the shade slowly, but also blend it out. Make sure there's no skips in the crease. You will have a chance to kind of go back and reinforce it, but do your best not to really let it skip. And if you really need to, you can also just reapply or go back over the edges with the fluffier blending brush. So just go back and forth until you're happy with the blend, and then we'll go on to the next step. So with the next step, I am actually going to be cutting my lid for that matte shade that I put on top. So I am going to take my personal primer. I have been, of course, using my MAC Paint Pot and Groundwork. So I am just going to take that, really apply my brush pretty heavily, and I am going to slowly cut the exact arrangement that I want. If you have hooded eyes, I recommend cutting slightly over your crease. And to kind of get the curve, it's really just a matter of moving your hand and the brush and just slowly penciling out the shape. It's pretty much one of those guessing games, and then of course you can always fill in the rest, and then really become a little bit more critical with the shape, like making sure that the shape is the same size on both eyes, and to the best of your ability, really making sure that they swoop around the same part. For me, from what I can tell, this eye is a little bit I need to just expand the swooping just a little bit more so that they're even. So I'm gonna do my best to just slightly make this bigger. Just slightly. I don't want to go too far, although you can always kind of fix that. So we're gonna go with that. I'm just going to adjust this part just a little bit. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna even take off the yeah, I am. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off the MAC paint pot just a little bit, and I am going to pick up the shade Massagey right here, this like beigey shade, and that is going to go all over the lid. This is going to take some time. I recommend you really taking your time to pack on the shade, because it's not gonna be easy, but you also want to try, in the event that your primer does crease, you want to try and kind of set this primer with this shade before it has the ability to crease. So just go ahead and do that. Take your time. There's no rush. Okay, so as you can see, I've set that whole primer. The one thing I will say is it might be a little bit difficult to make sure that the whole layer looks even, so try your best to make that happen. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Unless somebody's really looking at your eye, they really can't tell. Then what I did is I took a pencil brush. This happens to be a fluffier one. This is from Mikasa, their E310, and then I'm gonna go back into that dark green that I have on my outer V, and what I'm gonna do is just kind of reinforce that line right on the other side. And so this allows me to like really just make sure that that part of my look is nice and bold and pigmented. Okay, you see how much of a difference that really made? At least to me, it makes a huge difference. And then I did take the time to just pack on maybe in some other areas that I felt it just did not necessarily stick the way I wanted to. Then I'm going to take that same brush and do my lower lash line. Connecting up, of course. All right, and then blending it out with the respective brush and just a little bit of additional product to blend it out. As for my inner corner highlight, I am going to take the shade Tequila and another pencil brush. This happens to be from BK Beauty. It's the 207, a really nice fluffy pencil brush, and I am just going to spray this shade. Once again, the shade is kind of more of a foil than a shimmer or metallic, so I strongly recommend spraying it and then letting that kind of be your primed layer, if you will, and then going back in a little bit and getting just a wee bit more product. I find it just kind of really sets in that way. So that's pretty much the look. The only thing I need to do is put on my waterline, which is an LA Splash Pesto liner. Let's see. It's in the shade LA Girl Pastel Liner in the shade Magic Mint. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. Maybe I'll figure something out with my hair. Who knows? I kind of can't be bothered to do that right now. And then I'm going to zoom out so that you guys can kind of see the finished look all together. Alrighty guys, so like I said, this is the finished look. And yeah, like I said, this is the finished look. I've really been enjoying this palette, both the pigmentation, the blendability, the variety of shades, and the variety of looks that I was able to create just in these 5 looks. Had I had a little bit more time, I definitely would have turned out a 10 look for you guys, but I just didn't have the time. There are definitely some favorite shades, and there are definitely some weaker shades in my opinion, some shades that I feel like were not necessarily needed in this palette, and some palette shades that I think were definitely the core of the color scheme. I do want to play a little bit more with this palette, get to know it just a little bit more, and I hopefully will be doing kind of a ranking video, very reminiscent to how Angelica Nyquist does her like rehauling situation. I'm gonna aim to start doing that in the new year, and it's going to start with my November purchases and haul. So hopefully I have the time to kind of organize my thoughts a little bit better. But overall, if you are interested in this palette, I would recommend it. I think that this is definitely a really good quality when it comes to melt, and I'm really excited. I hope that they continue to use this manufacturer, this formula, everything really in their future palettes, whether they are just the holiday palettes or whether they are kind of their normal everyday palettes. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. Sound off down below if you have any questions, if there's anything that you guys would like me to do, if you want me to compare some swatches with this and a palette that you know I have in my collection, anything and everything, let your girl know down below. And with that said, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this 5 looks 1 palette video with my Melt Cosmetics Amor Mariposa palette, and I will see you guys in my next video, which will literally be tomorrow. Alrighty guys, bye.